and welcome back. It is so good to be with you guys. I feel like so much has happened in between my last recording and today. Obviously, I'm doing August content right now, and it's the end of July, and the kids are still home for the summer. And I've been in this weird space of transitioning to being in a new city, in a new home, having kids home, and just really in this space of processing a lot of feelings. And so I wanted to do the topic today around how to be a calm mom, because I don't know about you guys, but I do feel like there's so much to be said for summer break and lack of routine and structure. And if you live in a hot state like we do here in Arizona, there's just not a lot of opportunity to be outside and play, kind of like I had in the Midwest growing up. So it's really just kind of a different dynamic here. And there have been a lot of opportunities, especially with our, move of a transition, and kids being home. There have just really been a lot of opportunities for me to potentially lose my crud on my kids and not really be the mom I want to be. And thankfully, as I am in the home stretch here of summer break and I look back on the summer, I think I've done a pretty decent job of staying calm. And I'm really excited for that because that's a really big transition for me, you guys. Like I used to be the mom who would lose it and I would get out of control and I would have these like fits of rage almost. And I would just not know how to process my feelings. I know you guys know this if you've listened to the show before, but I'm a recovering stress eater. I used to emotionally eat. Sugar was my vice. So whenever I was stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, I would stuff, and sugar made that worse. And so today I want to share some things you can walk away from the show with and you can implement today so you can become that calm mom that you desire to be for your kids. Because you guys, the biggest thing I've learned as a mom, and I've only been doing this for 13 years, it's not like I'm a pro, but if we put that in terms of education, I would have graduated from high school by now as a mom. And I think the biggest thing I have learned is that more is caught than taught. And so what we do and how we respond and how we react to things is so vitally important because we're modeling that for our children. So some quick tips today on how to be a calm mom. And the first thing that I feel like is vitally important is assessing what your needs are. What are your needs? And if you're like me and you're type A and you really strive on being productive, we know summer break throws a wrench in that, right? So the biggest thing for me has been waking up early in the morning because I need quiet, I need space, I need my time. And so getting up early allows me to do that. Now with our move, I've had a little bit more fatigue and I'm really striving to honor my body, to listen to my body, to nourish my body. So I haven't been setting an alarm. I've kind of been waking up on my own and it's been pretty consistent. But we really need to assess what we need, and we need to have a space for those needs to be met, because if our needs aren't met, we're not going to be good for anybody. We're not going to be able to serve anybody. We're not going to be able to show up as we desire in the world. And so assess your needs is step number one. And then the second step to kind of piggyback off of that is to make sure you have a container to get those needs met. Okay. So another example, right now I'm recording this podcast. My husband took the kids out of the house so I could get my podcast recording done because I need to do that. That is a need that I have. So I had to create that space. So that's an example of what that looks like. Okay. So assess the need is number one. The second is find a space to have those needs met. I think the third thing you can do is to really identify kind of what triggers you. I have learned on my journey as a parent that the biggest thing is my kids will do something and it will trigger something in me. And it wasn't even maybe their intent, like they were not intending to be disrespectful. They didn't know that what they were doing I perceived as disrespectful, but because I have such a high value on respect, and disrespect is such a trigger for me, that there've been a lot of conversations around that. So I think the other thing is to really identify what triggers you and have some conversations in your home around that if your kids are old enough to understand that, obviously. But with your spouse, your partner, family, friends, whoever your support system is, whatever that looks like for you, that's something that's really important. And then the third thing I'm going to share with you is a technique you can do right now. This is a huge tip. I give it to my clients quite a bit because we oftentimes will get stressed, we'll get overwhelmed. And it's really, we need to connect our brain and our bodies. And so you can do a little something called the 5-5-7 breath. It's so easy. I'm going to walk you through it now. I love it. It's free. It takes like 2 minutes. You can do it anywhere. And it really links the sympathetic nervous system with the parasympathetic nervous system and kind of just syncs everything up and kind of settles everything together. So what it looks like is we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds. We're going to hold that breath for 5 seconds. And then we're going to extend it for 7 seconds. So you want the exhale to be longer than the inhale and the hold. Okay, so you breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold that breath for 5 seconds, and you exhale for 7 seconds. And so go ahead and try that. Try that 10 times and you will feel calm. I guarantee it. All of my clients have. I use this practice on the regular and it is a game changer. So that's the other technique I want to share with you today. So I'm going to wrap this up. We will be back next week. I can't wait to share more with you and I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.